Welcome to Switched on IT. This is Barry. This is the show where we talk about IT, and again today we have our guests with us. Doug is not with us today because he's still overseas, but we've got Roger from Computer Troubleshooters here in Toowoomba, and we've got Ray, and I think that the gentlemen are probably there now. Are you, gents? So, welcome, gentlemen. What are we talking about today?
Well, I thought today we'd talk to Ray and just find a little bit more about what he does in the world of technology.
Yep.
And just find out about how he helps business.
Yep. Okay, that sounds good. It sounds like you've got a customer in the background there, have you, Roger?
Oh, look, it's a working workshop, so
yes.
It's just distractions happening here. So that's fine.
Yeah, just so that people know that we haven't got an alien or something during this show. We may hear some conversation in the background. That's just because Roger is coming from a live working workshop, and he'll have customers coming in and out. So don't let that disturb you if you're watching this. We'll turn this over to you now, guys. Take it away for us.
Okay. Good morning, Ray. How are you this morning?
Good evening. It's evening time, my time. Good morning, your time.
Exactly. Yes, I do apologise. We have a big time delay. You can see the light is
not to worry.
Quite bright here. Yeah. Look, can you give us a little bit of a rundown about what exactly you do, just for our viewers, just to bring them up to speed?
Yeah. So in our first episode, Barry had the opportunity to interview both Doug Endersby and myself, and to kind of get to know us and what it is that we do, our background and that kind of thing. And so we spent most of that time talking about the what led me to end up owning W3 Consulting and what we do. What I do on a daily basis is run the company, and so I spend most of my time in meetings. But all joking aside, W3 Consulting itself is a digital marketing consultancy and training firm. So we spend a considerable amount of our time actually working on behalf of economic development agencies to deliver services, primarily training, workshops, or seminars or webinars to small business owners to help them understand how to market and manage using web, mobile, and social media technologies. We just found that in the market today, there are a wide variety of ways in which you can find new customers and have new customers find you, but that small business owners really didn't know and still don't know how to effectively convert the people that are out there who can buy from them into actual customers. So our job is to help them do that in whatever ways that we can. We've taken a kind of circuitous way to market, and just as a little bit of background, I come from the legal technology space, and so my background really was morphed from being in legal technology to then being a business owner myself and handling all of my technology, then to going into business again for myself with W3 Consulting and wanting to help other small businesses. So that most people have an idea, because my clients are typically economic development agencies that hire me to then provide services to small business owners, that's the largest part of our kind of world, which is why we do things like Switched on IT, because our mission is to be able to provide information to small business owners, to arm them with that information, to go out there and market and manage their businesses, again, using the digital technologies that are available. So that's it in a nutshell. Our company's broken up into several divisions, and we could talk about those things as we make our way through the conversation. And all of them have really been developed over time because of some felt need we saw for businesses to use that technology in and for their business.
Yep, that sounds fascinating. It's certainly something that I'd like to get to know a bit more about. So I'm looking forward to having our conversation. So look, how do you say you're helping small businesses? you know, sort of to guide them along as well. Am I correct in saying that?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, we can kind of use your business as an example. You're kind of ideal in the type of business that W3 Consulting likes to help. And we cover a wide range of business, and that's just because of the world in which we are in the United States. But in reality, we want to help businesses that are local, that help businesses that are local, and help consumers that are local. But your service is situated in a specific region. You have a customer base that is traditionally in that region. And while I know that you service customers all over the globe, as do I, traditionally and you know, most specifically, you are helping local businesses with local services or products. And that's our you know, that's our target. You know, we want to help those people. And so as we make our way along, I'll probably use you as an example to kind of show how we might help you in those particular regards. But just to start off, you can kind of think about it from the perspective that ideally, if the client is willing, we would come in and we would actually audit your current marketing situation, your current technology situation. And in your particular case, I probably wouldn't focus so much on the technology part because I figured you got that handled. But we would primarily look at the marketing technology that you're using and what kinds of skills and knowledge the company currently has and the systems that you have in place. And by systems, I mean methods that have been built up over time to be able to turn your outbound marketing and advertising into sales and then repeat sales. So we're looking at it from that function of marketing, sales, and advertising to be able to figure out what needs to be done. So we would ideally audit you and in that capacity, and then try to figure out what the right marketing strategy is, digital marketing strategy is. Sometimes we get into traditional marketing you know, campaigns, but for the most part, we're looking at digital marketing ways for you to be able to find new customers and help those potential customers find you.
Yeah, I'm certainly up for that because, you know, we do need help with our marketing as well, because we've traditionally gone the line of advertising with Google AdWords. We find that the most effective, and we do have a Facebook presence, Twitter presence, and you know, other LinkedIn and other social media presences as well, just to keep our customers informed about where we are heading and what we do. But you know, it's always good to get a good professional opinion on it. So, but you're talking about social media as being a big aspect of you know, integrating into your business for marketing and advertising. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you think the functionality of these social medias are and how they can help a small business?
Well, absolutely. So my rule on this, I wrote a book in 2014 called Solo Success, and so the whole idea behind Solo Success is Solo stands for social media, local, and mobile marketing, and the premise of Solo Success is that most small businesses hear social media today and they want to jump on the bandwagon and go, you know, hog wild with regard to going and putting out social media posts and creating social accounts and thinking that that's going to be a huge source of new customers. And that is patently wrong. And so that's the premise of the book, right? Which is that it's patently wrong. What you must do first is to create a solid website that knows how to convert customers, that potential customers, visitors to your website that then become customers. And that means there needs to be a sales process and a sales conversion function on your website. Then you can worry about mobile optimization of that website. And then you can implement some kind of social media strategy. It's only until you have your local website and your mobile website or mobile presence optimized, then you can go out there and start fishing for people who might be interested in your products or services. So the whole idea behind social is that social allows for bringing people to the table that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to reach once upon a time, engaging them in social capacities, right? Social technologies, conversation, commenting on blogs, Twitter conversation, and otherwise. But none of that is actually useful unless your website and your mobile presence are solid. So that's my traditional perspective on it, and I know it's a little bit counter to a lot of the marketing experts that are out there, but it's what works for local businesses. And we have to remember that your website is where sales happen, and that you need to make sure that when people traditionally today, more commonly today, are visiting your mobile website first, they're finding you through Google, and when they do that, you need to be there. Then you can use social as a mechanism for driving traffic, and then it's a fantastic platform for being able to implement a content strategy and really start bringing people to your website and or mobile presence. And note that I say mobile presence because mobile doesn't necessarily mean just a website or that's mobile optimized. It could mean a mobile application. It could mean many other things, SMS, marketing. It can be many other ways in which you implement mobile. You just need to figure out what that right mixture is for you between your website and your mobile strategy. So, but once you get all those pieces together, then it's a fantastic functioning sales operation. Until then, your website, social media, mobile, all of those things are these disparate tools that you have, and as a craftsman, that you're only good as the skill that you have. It doesn't matter what tool you're using. You can use any hammer and chisel, and you can still make the chisel out a Da Vinci or whatnot if you're a master crafter. So you have to figure out what the strategy is, what you're trying to carve out of the stone as a sculptor before you go ahead and start chipping away at it. And so we really look at strategy as the mechanism for being able to do that.
So that sounds very exciting, because like I say, as in the industry we're in, our web page, is a landing page, but we need to drive people to that landing page, just to let them see what we actually do. And then once they're there, engage them, which is exactly what you're saying. Is to keep the customers interested, so to speak, and not only our current customers, but also attracting other customers. My philosophy is with web pages, you're not going to directly. You won't directly. Nobody's just going to go straight to your web page. They need to do like Google searches. So you need to get your SEOs, your back end stuff in place, so people will be directed to your web page. We're ranked #1 on the organic search at the moment through SEOs and whatever that we actually obtain. But there's always AdWords which pick people up, a little bit higher on the page itself. And we can go into the eye contact and where people look at pages and all that sort of analytical stuff that you probably do every day. But look, I'm definitely a proponent that web pages and social media, but it's very interesting to hear you say that how to engage the social media more around the web page. So I think that's fantastic. So, so can you tell me a little bit more about what you actually do for the SEO side of things, just on the web pages, and how to rank in Google and other search engines?
Yeah, sure. So in the same way that we look at any startup business or going concern in the business that's currently operating and not a startup, we want to look, if they're a local business, to make sure that they're optimized for Google, making sure that they're found by Google Maps and all of those other various local directories that are out there. We want to look at their site and make sure that each page on their website is locally optimized. And I think that we actually did an episode, or I did an episode with Doug where we talked about some of that. So folks can scroll back a few episodes and see what we talked about in terms of local page optimization. And so we provide those services, and we will sometimes recommend people out to services that do the registration functions for them, so that they don't have to. But we want to primarily engage the business owner and train them on how to do these things, and giving them the tools to be able to do so that they can go out there and get it done. Because we find that most of the businesses that come to us, they can't afford to pay hundreds and hundreds of US dollars per hour for us to be able to do it, but they do have time to be able to do these things. And so it's kind of a chipping away at it. And they can, if they just do a little bit of it every day, then they can go ahead and make these things happen. It's just a matter of knowing how to do it. And so we engage them with the resources to be able to do that. So most of us wanted to show them how to do
that. Gentlemen, I think that we probably ought to take a break there. I'm being wound up by the floor manager, so we'd better take a break, and after the break we'll come back and we'll pick this discussion up again. This is Switched on IT. We'll see you on the other side of the break.
Is your computer driving you crazy? Is it slow or doing things you didn't expect? Well, having a computer crash or pick up a virus can be a complete nightmare for a business, so having someone local you can trust to get you up and running again is critical. The dedicated team of experts at Computer Troubleshooters Toowoomba West will put your mind at ease from the moment you walk through the door and will get your problem solved in no time with a 100% guarantee on their work. Laptops, tablets, PCs, whatever you have, Roger and the team can fix it for you. So visit them today at 236 Bridge Street, Newtown. Well, can't get in to see them? No worries. Just call them on 4642 1331 and they'll come to you. Toowoomba Troubleshooters Toowoomba West on the web at www.computertroubleshooters.com.au/Toowoomba West.
Hi, this is Mick Jagger on
Classic Vinyl.
This is Debbie Harrow from Blondie.
This is Jimmy Barnes here.
Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac.
This is Reverend Willie G from ZZ Top.
The best tracks from the greatest albums of our generation.
That's right.
From your breakfast and coffee to your drive home.
We've got the classic hits that make your workday
Then you got a job to do.
Go by a lot faster.
Hey, if we haven't said it lately, thanks for listening. The home of classic rock.
Don't touch the dial.
PowerFMradio.com.au.
Whether you're a professional musician, a weekend warrior, or just starting out, you need to talk to the experts at Royce Music. With over 35 years experience, Royce Toowoomba's oldest music store specialises in guitars, drums and sound equipment, and can even repair and maintain your equipment. Call them today on 46327377, 377, drop into their showroom at 17 Bowen Street, or find them on Facebook. Royce Music, selling Toowoomba's finest musical instruments.
Looking for exposure for your business or event? Take your business, community event, training seminar, sports fixture, function, concert or exhibition to the world with Power TV Australia and Power FM's unique live outside simulcasts. We can turn your next local event into a worldwide sensation with stunning live pictures, interviews, graphics and live action replays for a fraction of the usual cost. From a festival or sports fixtures to a corporate or charity event, Power TV Australia and Power FM can take your message live to our local and national viewers and listeners. Invite the world to your party by contacting Barry today on 0431 390 920 or email programming@powertvaustralia.com for a quote.
Welcome back to Switched on IT. We've got Roger and Ray with us today. Roger and Ray, we'll turn the conversation back over to you.
Thanks, Barry.
Yeah. Thanks, Barry. Look, Ray, we were talking about what you do in the IT world. I understand that there's a few divisions or a few separate things that you do in your business. Would you like, or in your line of work, would you like to actually inform us about what they are and expand on that a little bit?
Sure. So as I said earlier, our company has organically grown based on the needs of the environment. So what we traditionally have seen is an area that the small business owner has a need for, and then we build a group of services around that area and try to support them there. And we have developed present 4 distinct divisions. W3 Consulting itself is the umbrella, but it also by itself manages all of our consulting, training, and workshop and seminar work. And we do our social media content production, so where we do social media management, blogging, podcasting, consulting, all of that stuff happens under W3 Consulting. And then there were divisions that kind of have spawned from that. The biggest one is our W3C web services. So we provide web hosting, domains, and SSL certificates to our small business clients that are primarily those that we're consulting with. So it's not like, average, business owner off the street decides to come show up at our door for web hosting and domains. So it's typically businesses that we're already working with, and so we're helping them with management of those types of things. And so that remarkably has turned into a fairly large part of our business, even though it wasn't really how we planned it out. And it's great because we can go ahead and support those businesses with affordable web hosting. We're a WordPress shop, so we only support WordPress websites, and that just helps us make sure that we are stable in the services that we can provide. So that's one real area of the business. And so for those of you who are in Australia, see Oz Hosting for your hosting services. We primarily provide our services in North America, so you would want to be hosted there. Then we have W3 Publishing, which is a fairly old portion of the business, but is actually still fairly nascent in our ramp up. So about 4 or 5 years ago, I recognized that business owners needed to create a way to create authority, to create a platform where people understood subject matter expertise, thought leadership of a small business owner. And so as an author myself, I thought, well, I see a vision where small business owners are capable of self-publishing today, instead of having to go to writing a book proposal and being picked up and having to worry about all of those functions of becoming a quote-unquote best-selling author. There are rampant numbers of ways in which you can use the publication of a book or audiobook or printed book as a means for establishing authority. And so we created W3 Publishing as a small business publishing house to be able to help small business owners create that authority platform, using the publication of the book as a marketing tool as opposed to as a revenue tool. Now, some businesses will make money off of selling books. Most will not, but they can make money by marketing themselves through the publication of the book. So that's where W3 Publishing fits in, is to help small business owners work through the writing, editing, and publishing of the book, and then using that as a platform for being able to market themselves. So we really want to help those business owners that, and it covers a wide variety. I mean, we've had a personal chef, write a cookbook. We have a mediator who's writing a popular treatise on mediation, conflict resolution, and negotiation, and all kinds of other businesses in between. So it really is kind of sky's the limit. Children's book authors, who are looking to do therapeutic services for, in a pediatric therapeutic environment. So they're writing children's books, but again, it's not about selling the children's books so much as it giving them the publicity to be able to support their local business. So that's where W3 Publishing came in. And then last is the Small Business Blog Network and the Small Business Podcast Network. Now, this is our newest division, and it's still in, I would consider, alpha state. Maybe some people in my company would call it beta, but I'm going to call it alpha. And it's about 3 years old. And what we do is we create regional blogs and regional podcasts that support a local community. So, for example, you would create a Toowoomba small business website, right? And with the Toowoomba small business website, a blog, you would have many businesses that would be contributing to that blog. If you, Roger, were blogging by yourself, even with weekly blog posts, it would take you several years before you had enough content to become important enough to Google in order to drive traffic to your website. But if you partnered up with your nearest and dearest 20, 30, 40, 50 small businesses in Toowoomba, you would be able to create a 50x amount of traffic than you would if you blog by yourself. And that's the whole idea behind the Small Business Blog Network, is to create a network of regional blogs that drive traffic because of the high density, the high volume of good content about small business. And again, this is focused on business. So the businesses that would blog on there are themselves businesses that work with other businesses. So it's not something that particularly works in the consumer space, but we have some businesses who talk about their own experience and can be incorporated on there. But it's primarily a business-to-business blog. And then they're able to then direct people to their own websites through the blogging, right? So at the whether it's in the signature of the blog, it tells people a basic call to action for them to sign up for their email newsletter, to visit their website, to their products and services page. And what we found in our testing is that this works really, really well because people share each other's content, and you create this marketing alliance of these local businesses that are able to do that. And we're doing this also and starting the process of doing this with podcasts and being able to have small business owners launch podcasts that are about their local business and then be put together with other businesses who are talking about their local businesses, so that you have this larger audio conversation that's happening about local businesses. So we're still testing out the podcast network, but the blog network is working really well. We hope to have roughly about 300 blogs running in the United States, specifically over the next 3 to 5 years, and letting each of those major metropolitan major metropolitan areas support through it'll be ad supported, and making sure that the ads are not conflicting with the products and services of the actual bloggers, because we want them to obviously make money by blogging, but we want to basically have the balance there, so it can be ad supported, so it can be free for the bloggers, free for the visitors, but still generate revenue to support itself. And those are the 4 divisions by themselves, and how they really operate, and what we do for our various client bases.
Well, I'm extremely excited about the 4th division that you've mentioned, because that was something that I was not aware of that you did, and it's something that I can see working in a small community like Toowoomba that has a population of, let's say, 120,000, and a lot of small businesses. There is a local group starting up Shop Locally, which would fit into that category of local businesses looking after themselves, and even that sort of community group could get involved in that. So I see a lot of prospects with that coming along as well.
Absolutely. So, it's so difficult for people to it's difficult for people to generate that traffic by themselves, and also managing a blog is not easy. If you want to do all the SEO and all of the technological infrastructure to make sure that you're on the up and up with Google, that by itself can be a full-time job. And so a platform like that, where you have a multi-author blog that supports your region, you're all in it together, and you're all in it to win it, and nobody is in competition with one another, because you write good content, you write great content, and that gets mixed in with the other great content and provides a real platform for everybody to succeed in that environment.
Yeah, fantastic. I think we'll be having a conversation after this podcast about how we can actually get involved with it. So I think that's very exciting. Look, just going back to the small business angle as well. How do I get in touch with you, or what's the stream that we go to utilize your services?
Yeah, so I think Barry will put my website on the screen. People can obviously find us on our website at w3cinc.com, and I and really everybody on my team are Twitter fans, so we're always on Twitter. So you can always find us at W3 Consulting, and you'll find us tweeting not all the time, but we tweet a lot, and I am probably most responsive via Twitter. For those who obviously are not Twitter fans or on Twitter, you can always click on our contact page. We actually have a button on our website where you can click on contact, and you reach one of us or one of our customer service agents who can obviously help you get started, but you can always fill out our contact form as well and touch base. So if you have questions now or after any of our shows, that would be the best place to make contact. Shoot me an email through the contact form, and I'm always happy to answer questions there.
Fantastic. And you also mentioned the SSL and web hosting content side of things. You did mention Oz Hosting. Now I'll put a plug in for Oz Hosting itself. Because Doug is a friend of mine, and we get on quite well. In fact, he likes to answer the phone when I ring him, so which is quite good. But I know that Oz Hosting, we use their platform and their services quite a bit for Office 365 and for the web hosting and the whole gamut of products that they sort of provide, and the service. Look, this is a personal experience. The service itself that comes from the people down at Oz Hosting, you ring them up, you get to know the team quite well, and their backup and their support after our support and so forth is also fantastic. So I would imagine that the same thing would be happening in the States for you guys as well. You'd have partnerships and everything else. That's an interesting thing. Do you partnership with anyone in particular that you'd like to mention?
Well, so I'm the Google Small Business Advisor for Productivity. So we are obviously a Google shop and fans of Google services. We actually resell G Suite, which is the Google product platform, and we also help businesses traditionally implement the G Suite into their business if they need implementation services and so on and so forth. So we do that. I also happen to be an Evernote certified consultant, so we help a lot of people with the note-taking application. It's more than just notes, and it's a really big topic of discussion, but we help a lot of our businesses with Evernote, and then Hootsuite ends up being our next big product base. We help a lot of our businesses set up the social media dashboard Hootsuite and get that all together. So those are just some of the product partnerships that we have developed over time, and we found them to be just so useful to our business owners that we couldn't not help support them in their implementations. So we like helping train people in how to make best use of the tools, because most often than not, it's not that you need more tools, it's that you need to understand the tools that you have already. And so if you're an Office 365 shop, I always say, you have all of the tools at your fingertips to be able to do, 90-95% of what you need to do in your business. Now you just need to figure out how to utilize it to its maximum. And then if there's a gap, if there's a 1%, 2% need, then you find bespoke, some kind of customized solution to that particular need of the business operations. But most often than not, I see businesses signing up for 15, 20 different software and service packages for what they already have in-house, and they're spending money on things they don't need. They only know how to use 20% of each of those tools, and it ends up being a lower productivity, higher cost, and ultimately poor outcomes, because they don't actually market better, sell better, and provide their services or products at higher quality to those customers. So we really want to help them balance that out.
Yeah, look, when we go into small businesses to help them with their IT problems, we find that they've sort of purchased a group of tools to help them with their business, and then they've missed out or haven't fully understand how to implement those properly. Then they go and buy another set of tools to fill in that 1% that you mentioned before. And then they get into the problem of, now they've got 2 sets of tools, or maybe 3, just in their business, that they don't actually, excuse me, just take that out. That they don't actually or can't actually handle, because they've got so many tools that they're using, and they're trying to implement a lot, into their business. You find that to be a problem as well?
Absolutely. When we do our audits of our businesses, we traditionally have them kill off or cancel several pieces of software at a time. Because of that fact, they've bitten off more than they can chew in the number of tools that they can use and or support, sometimes even afford. And so we're trying to help them slim down as best as possible so that they can be nimble and adaptive, but also have greater effectiveness through the tools that they already have. So you're right on point there with most businesses that are going concerns that have been around for a while. They tend to have developed too many things that they're trying to operate, and that's reducing their focus by expanding the number of things that they have to pay attention to. And so we want to be able to expand their focus on as few tools as possible so that they're capable of doing the most work the best way.
All right, gentlemen, that's been a really interesting conversation again. I think that, Roger, there are probably some things that we can take forward from there and for Toowoomba, and I think that we will leave it there. Thank you very much for your time, Roger.
Thank you, Barry. And
thank you, Ray.
Thank you. Thanks to Roger for the the interview and talking about what W3 Consulting does. This has been fun.
Yeah.
It's been my pleasure.
And I think that we will probably have Doug back with us next week. So until then, we will call it quits for today. And thank you for watching. Don't forget that the details of both of these guys are up on the screen there for you if you want to contact them. The Computer Troubleshooters is a local business here in Toowoomba. Make sure you get in touch with them. They'll look after you and they guarantee what they do. So we'll leave it there and we'll see you next week on Switched On IT. This has been Barry for Switched On IT on Power TV Australia.